Alright, today's video, unprepared as usual. I had all my cards ready, was all set to film in a different location. I said, you know what, this is better to do it this way. So then I moved everything up here and misplaced a card, and I looked at both tables and it is nowhere to be found, nowhere. So I can't show you that card. There's lots of cards I can't show you because I don't know where the heck they've ended up. But I had a question. I'm not going to talk about the National, but I just had a question whether more people are excited about all the National baseball card videos coming up, or maybe the possibility of finding out what happened to Mitch McConnell. I have no idea. So we'll start off with, I guess we'll start off with a couple cards I got at the swap meet about a month ago, I'm guessing. It's probably been that long almost. I got this high series card, at least I think it's a high series. It's card number 617, so is that the high series or just before? But I got Rich Childs for 73 tops, and that was 75 cents for that one, so I think it's okay. There's a spot there or something like that, a little, I don't know what that is. I didn't realize there was a crease in that card there. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Well, again, you know, these people put things in top loaders and penny sleeves, and you can't see the damage. You cannot see the damage in them at all. So you just basically, you can't, and it's really hard because you don't want to be sitting there all day pulling out 75-cent cards out of the holders. I probably should, but sometimes they just won't come out of the holders. They're very frustrating. This card here, I got a little beat up at the swap meet because I didn't have a holder to put it in. So it's kind of dinged up, but it's an unmarked checklist from what I understand from third series. So I will double check from 71 or whatever. So card number 206. And I will double check and see if I need that one, if that's an upgrade or whatever. It was 50 cents at a different vendor. That was the only sports card they had, and it was like in a little baggie. One of those little baggies that it's wide enough for the card, but the part where it locks at the top of it is not wide enough for the card. So it's really, you know, you can get it in pretty easily, but you can't get it out without practically, you know, have to rip the bag. And I didn't have any way to rip the bag at the time. I will put a video together of the stuff that I've acquired from Byron, but I can't do that right now because I don't have pages. I won't be going to the LCS for a few weeks or so, but I don't know if I showed this. I've got several postcards similar to this, kind of World War II, kind of like humorous. Well, I'll be a blankety blank, and the guy is sleeping through the whole war there. And this one's got some stuff on here from whoever it was that sent it years ago. Looks like somebody wanted $2 at an antique mall or vendor space for that. So there's that one there, and that'll go in my postcard collection. The cards I will be able to show very quickly here I'm missing. So I ordered a Charlie's Angels card, and I don't have that one. I don't know where that went. It's not in this binder, it's not over here, it's not over here, it's not over there. I've got so many cards that need to be put away, it's really not even funny. And the other thing is that, of course, I misplaced the Charlie's Angels card. It's a Farrah Fawcett card. And the crazy thing is I'm putting my order together and I said, oh, do I have that card? I don't know. And I said, yes, I have that card because according to my list, but it didn't mark off when I needed the star or the 2-star variant. And I said, you know what, I don't care, I'll just get it because it's not that much more, it's only like $1. And the Farrah Fawcett cards have a little bit of a premium according to eBay vendors. So I figured for the $1 I will grab it. And then just to make the order a little bit better for the seller. And then I've been noticing people trying to boost the value of some other the Star Wars cards there. You know about the card number 1, Luke Skywalker, but there's like a 3rd or 4th series Luke Skywalker green or something like that that people are trying to, and so I just looked up the value, and you can get that for $1 to $2, $3, $4, $5. It's not a big deal, and it doesn't have a crazy ton of value in lower grades, but I guess if it's a PSA 10, but you know, people say PSA 10 like it's a doable thing. But, you know, so I looked at my copy. I had the binder here a minute ago, but I don't seem to have it now. But I had I was guessing I would have a PSA 6. Mine is virtually mint, but it's off-centered on the back, and it's top to bottom not very good, and maybe a tiny white corner on there. But again, back in the day, that would have been a near mint to mint card. And I'm guessing it's probably only like a 6. You know, everybody'd be hoping for between a 7 and an 8, but because of the centering issues, you know, it's actually really pretty good centered for that card. So, and I'll show you what I did get. And I'll show you a couple of items that I picked up at the swap meet. So, more recently, you realize that I've been collecting the cards from the set of the Mod Squad. And some of these have markings on it. This one is marked B on the corner there, so he would pick card number or letter B, and then there's another B one there, and A, B, and then there's a C card there. So that's how the vendor knew which cards are which to get. And some of these, again, unfortunately, because COMC does not care half the time, and nobody called them out on it, and I called them out on it on numerous occasions, because this card here is easily confused with Canada OPG cards here. All you have to do is look at the tagline and say printed in Canada, and many times I have been burned on eBay as well. But this one says, hopefully it says printed in USA. You will not be able to see that, but TCG printed in USA. The problem with these cards is that they say Topps Chewing Gum printed in Canada. They don't say OPG printed in Canada, so that's why there's a confusion there. But yeah, so I'll go to that page here because I have the binder with me, and I will just show you hopefully the difference of these two here. I'm trying to get to that card in this set here, and it's so easy to accidentally go past it. And you know, again, the back is darker on this one here, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. That could have been put in a binder where it was toned or got in contact with non-acid-free paper. But this one says printed in Canada and this one says printed in USA. For my own sanity, you know, essentially it's all intents and purposes the exact same card. But the thing is that, there we go, that one there. So I had to have both of them. So I more than likely will keep them together in the binder together. I mean, I don't really want to necessarily do a separate page for that. So that's one less card that essentially I was getting for my set. This one here is Disturbed Detectives. Oh, I see. I thought that was a sticker there. No, good. It wasn't sticking on there. And most of these are crease free. For the $1 that I paid for it, I was very, very happy. If I was just starting out, some of these sellers actually have a pretty good deal on these right now. But the thing is that I'd be able to get about, I would say about 28 to 35 cards for my set, and then I would be that 15 to 20 cards shy, and those are the ones that are the difficult ones to get. So anybody can start a Mod Squad set very, very cheaply here. We go to card number 26 here. So we go 26, and that will fill a column or a row, and I will just need one for the middle here. See, the one that he had, I think the Escape card, he wanted a little bit more, like an extra $1, and it was not in very good condition, so that's why I didn't get that one. Why, you know, even if it's an extra $1 and there's not much to do with, it was just the condition I was not happy with, so I just decided not to get that. Otherwise, I'd have a complete page. Then the next card here we have is Link Hayes. So that's kind of a popular one, but it doesn't have a crazy amount of value. It's only the Peggy Lipton card, number 51 or whatever, that's got some sort of ridiculous. Somebody just had to pick a card out of the set and just say, hey, it's valuable. Kind of like the Luke Skywalker card. For whatever reason, I've not been able to find a copy of it. So all these people are set building, missing one card probably. Link Hayes, so there's that one there. And then we have Mr. Clarence Williams. So there's another one. I mean, well, he's Link Hayes, now he's Clarence Williams. Okay, there we go. That's how that works. That's probably his real name. I cannot remember. And then we've got Police Doctor and Pete's Bag. Now, see, again, this is terribly off-centered. But again, it was so cheap, it was $1 or something like that. I said, you know what, I want to get that. Some of these were more than $1, I think. This one might have been, Pete's Bag might have been $2. But I look at Pete's Bag here, and I believe 41 was also one that, if I can get to card number 41, yeah, see, Pete's Bag is another one that was a Canada versus OPG right there, so very frustrating. So that was another one that is essentially a no loss and a no gain, you know, type of card there. And then I just throw these back into here, making sure I put the OPG on the back and the tops on the front. And then if I ever so chose to, now again, unfortunately the OPG cards are all over the place, but people are going to be charging a premium if they realize what they have. And if they don't realize what they have, which is a lot, you know, again, COMC has basically screwed me over on a couple of those. There's the Clarence Williams III, and then we've got number 50, so we'll go to card number 50. I'll put that one in there, and I'll show you the page in a second here. If I can get these, let's see what other, almost there. Again, I can't find the number on this one. You know how hard it, sometimes see there's the Link Hayes card there, and I'm looking all over at where is the number, and I'm not seeing it. You know, again, I'm doing my homework there, and I'm not seeing the number on there. I mean, there might be one right here, but it is so, no, that's just a scuff on the shirt or something like that, so I can't see that. So I will not know unless I've marked it in here. 38, 44, and this one is 38. Okay, let's go to 38. We can figure that one out there. 44, 38, okay, 38. And that might, Link Hayes might be 44, but we'll deal with that in a second here. So let's get this put in the page here. So I will be missing, I think, one card from this page now. See, there's number 44 flipped over, and then this one here. So I'll be missing one page, or one card from that page. And my binder went crashing, and then there is the Mr. Clarence Williams, the third card there. So there is that one there, and again, I gotta figure out which one this one goes to. And then, let's get this set back up here so it doesn't, now it doesn't want to stay. Okay, there we go. Okay, now I'll just show you a couple items from the swap here. Why this is not standing is, oh, there we go. Alright, we got, if I can just scoot this over here, wasting all your time here on that thing. So, again, I'll probably be like another 8 more cards or something ridiculous for that set, which I shouldn't have been in the first place. I got 2 unusual items here, and they're both useless items, okay? So this I've kind of wanted for a long time. Why I wanted it, I don't know, but this is the type of camera that I would have used back in the 80s. This is circa 1984. That's what everybody listed on eBay. So that's probably the first year it came out in production. I paid a whopping $1 for this, but I used lots of 110 cameras back in the day, and 110 is one of those film things that you really can't, I guess you can get it on eBay, but I don't know who would have to develop it, send it off to some place in Colorado or whatever, I don't know. But this is the Fisher-Price 110 Kodak camera. I think that's really neat. Really cool, very sturdy, very well built, and made in USA. I think that's just really neat. You know, we just used to have really nice things like this back then. I looked these up on eBay, and they basically have fallen like a rock. They used to have value, and now they don't. People are asking anywhere from a couple bucks to $5, but this is the first time I've ever found one out in the open, you know what I mean? So I think that's just kind of fun to have found one of those. Everything looks like it would work just fine if I was able to get 110 and find a place to basically have the film developed. I think it's just fun to do that every once in a while. But that'll just go in my personal collection. Now, finding one of these is like finding a unicorn, but also finding a unicorn, it might be easier than finding one of these that works. So I found this, the Stereo 3-band graphic equalizer JBX 114 cassette player. It actually was from Montgomery Ward. They actually had 3 of them. There were batteries in this one. And this also came with some sort of like a Beach Sounds cassette that was in there. But this doesn't move, doesn't do anything, put new batteries in it, and basically just sets and does nothing. But it has the original headphones with it. I think it just makes a cool 90s era display piece. 80s or 90s, and there's the stereo logo there. And he had 2 more of them, so, you know, this is $1 for this, from the same vendor. I might pick up the other 2 if he still has them. But I have a feeling they're all frozen up. Like this one here, and you won't be able to see that, but there's the Montgomery Ward logo right up on there. I think that's kind of fun. And what's crazy is you look these things up on eBay and it says non-working condition, $25, $30. Maybe one sells and then none ever sell. And then what's frustrating is that I have it, and I say, well, non-working cassette, you know, I say Stranger Things and talk about Guardians of the Galaxy, and everybody gets all jazzed up and said, okay, how much is it? And I was like, oh, how about $5? Because that's like $4 more than I paid for it. And they said, does it work? And then no. And then they walk off. You know, but then they have to go to eBay to find, you know, a broken one for $25 or $30. You know, again, that's just not really, but it makes a great display piece, you know, again, for cosplay. That's what people are looking for. If this showed up at a Goodwill store, it would sell in an instant for $5, whether it worked or not. If it showed up at the Goodwill bin store, it doesn't matter if it works or not. Somebody will buy it because they're going to think they're going to flip it on eBay or do something with it, because it was only going to be probably like what I paid is it'll be about $1 at the Goodwill bins for electrical price. So I'm right at the Goodwill price. If you didn't know, I try to find alternatives to the Goodwill bins, which is getting a lot of hate because some people on the East Coast have amazing Goodwill bins, and other people like in Florida, South Carolina, and maybe even Pittsburgh or whatever, but people on the West Coast say that their Goodwill bins are being, robbed of every little ounce of anything. We used to find pennies. That's all they would give us is pennies. They took away our records. They took away all the really cool electronics. There's virtually no computer stuff, so I can't ever get any cords or plugs anymore. And just a bunch of, gross totes and stationery and very heavy board games, things that they don't want to ship on their website. It's stuff that comes out there. And every once in a while somebody finds a neat hat or some sort of, sterling silver necklace, but that's one person in the entire store. One, and then they said they have more stuff that they can't even bring out, and that's why they're building a larger store. If I do 20 minutes here, I'm going to basically be breaking the computer, so I'll finish on that note there, but again, that's just want to get some stuff out and show a few cards so I can get them put away and processed. And I forgot to show you, but I also had a big RTS. I want to thank leave them anonymous there, but I want to thank the person for giving me the address, but I have a feeling that there was a P.O. box or something that I couldn't find after I did some additional research, and it just came RTS. So that was an expensive RTS because it was an 8x10 request. So unfortunate things happen. The person is 90, they'll pass away, and I won't get their autograph, but life goes on, and thank you for watching.